to this higher level, you saw this sort of decked out
Oh,
orc
that's right.
mage or half
Yep.
orc, something of that variety.
It's all coming back to me.
I think it was Alatar. One of you saw like off in the distance like this raised platform with a throne upon it, and there was this hooded figure with a dog at the base of it all. And as you got in closer and saw it for what it really was, it was this tentacled faced, rubbery skinned creature that was speaking with like tenfold echoes underwater inside your mind whenever you heard it. Um,
Mind
and
flare.
it basically like said have fun with my minions. I could use more thralls while jarething up this like 3-inch stone orb, and almost in a dismissive sort of way, just strolled towards these double doors to the west, leaving you with the dog and the orc. As it departed, you heard more blood-curdling screams from what you all believe is Floon, the other redhead you've been sent to find.
Yeah.
And during this, I think you saw Schmidt that the mage had imbibed some sort of healing potion after you all did your first attack.
Yeah, we opened up on him, but
Yeah.
then he was like, "Nah, reset."
Yeah, and as he did this and kind of watching from afar, like the brain dog finally just leapt off like the upper steps, and brave waiting Dante like fucking holding the pike up, used the javelin to just catch it in the air and do some damage, and it was like clawing at him, and like the dislodge trajectory threw Rainier off, who rolled a natural one, and after like the dog swiped and missed, like you like used all your strength to hold him off, you still felt this like explosion in your mind, like the whites of your eyes bulged out of your skull, and you just immediately felt all of the liquid pour out and drip down around your maw, and you just stood there frozen, like you didn't even know how to operate your own body anymore. You felt that stupid.
Cool.
Your intelligence has effectively been reduced to 0.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So wait, does that mean that does he even know how to breathe?
It's questionable. So right now, because I also narratively that still works out perfectly fine. You have a chance to kind of resist and snap out of it, and we rolled only part of that equation last time. The other thing that didn't happen, this guy should have the brain dog thing has disadvantage. So help me remember that when it's on its next turn.
Oh shit! Because I hit it with the
Goodness.
crossbow.
Yeah. All right. So right now, Dante, the brain dog's like completely fucking dazed and stunned you, and you can feel your mind slipping away. That's the state we're currently in. Give me one moment.
I believe in you.
The drool just continues to pile up, and you cannot move your body right now. I'd say Schmidt and Rainier, you kind of hear the heavy footsteps echoing from up above, and you hear like the incantation, and like you just see this familiar shape, although definitely his own. A firebolt just comes blasting towards both Schmidt and Rainier. Rainier steps in front of you, and manages to kind of shield you as the thing goes whizzing past. You see the mage kind of back away from that lane. You kind of see him up above, and then his silhouette disappears just as quickly as it came through. And we are in round 3. Dante,
Okay.
what would be like the stupidest thing you've ever thought of as Dante the character?
Oh my god.
The stupidest thing?
Mm-hmm.
If poop came from one of my testicles.
Right now, like you're watching, almost like as if someone animated an entire short film out of like children's chalk. This is like what you see happening right now. Like there's chalk
Claymation.
testicles, and you see like a slice through, and then all of a sudden, like you're looking at this sliced view of a testicle, and vas deferens are coming off, and like brown liquid is coming out, almost like a modern day frozen yogurt machine. And you're just like, maybe this is more convenient.
I knew it was that way.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh yeah, okay.
I wonder.
It's the greatest film you've ever seen in your life.
I'm on board. Yeah, it's good.
It's so good. Everyone else around you just sees Dante like almost if there was a drunken zombie standing in place, kind of like shifting the weight back and forth and just and occasionally you hear it like cough and giggle. But it's not moving. It's just this strangest shit you've ever seen. And
Sweet.
Rainier, while still kind of like sidestepping and using his body to protect you, Schmidt shifts himself just a little bit forward and takes another dagger out and slashes at the rear of this brain dog that's still kind of on the ground, almost mesmerizing Dante. He quickly slices with the dagger and hits, doing 7 points of damage. He takes the rapier back and around, almost having to re-grip the thing after his fumble just a moment ago. And he tries to slice, like while holding it with the dagger across, and manages to cleave part of the like brain clear off. And this thing is like wobbling and woozing, but it's still standing on 3 of the 4 paws. And Rene's just, quick, it's almost down. The brain dog kind of like hobbles in place a little bit, and immediately retaliates against Rainier.
Oh my god.
Disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
But it doesn't matter, he missed anyways.
Thank you. I could get 1. And you immediately see Rainier kind of like brace himself for a moment. And he kind of like shakes his head and says, "It was in my mind!" And he turns to you, Schmidt. It's your turn.
Yeah. I will fire my firebolt at it. Please!
Why did you have disadvantage?
I don't know.
I
don't think it's within 5 feet of that.
Either. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just double check one thing. Huh. Yeah, I will take the 12. I don't know why that rolled like that, which would be an 18, which hits. You may roll damage on the thing.
Indeed! Suck fire!
Did you just throw it on Dante?
Oh shit! I know I did bring down.
Let me fix that. Dante, you won't remember that happening.
I didn't! I didn't! No!
And you just see, like, while Rainier's, like, dagger underneath of it, still kind of, like, his rapier's, like, almost throbbing and vibrating, your blast just goes right across, sending it clear off the dagger like a fucking marshmallow falling off a spit, and this thing splats over on the other side there. We're still in combat. And,
Indeed.
Are you holding there?
No, actually, I'm gonna. I can't. Can I heal? I don't have anything. No. Wait. Push. Nope. Nothing. I step forward.
Okay.
And then I want to challenge that orc mage. I say, let me try this again. Then I ready my hands.
Okay.
I ready my hands. I want to try to get his attention.
Okay. Give me 1 moment, please.
I'll think of something clever next time.
All right. You see, as you step up and say this, You see the orc kind of like using the slumped, very unmoving
Just
body
a little
of
bit
Floon as like sort of partial cover.
Mm-hmm. Whoa! He's using a body as cover?
It's not. I mean, like
Okay,
it's
got it.
down in front of him. It give him like the minorest advantage, but he's
Is
sort
he
of standing
kneeling in front of it? Or like behind it?
The body is on its side, unmoving in front of him, and there's like a small pool of blood around it. And so you step up, sorry, and you got your hands at the ready. What are you doing?
What's up?
That's
I
it? Okay,
intimidate
hold
him.
there. Okay.
Like, get away from my friend, you asshole.
He just kind of looks at you, and he just gives you this sinister smile. Alatar.
Okay. Here's what I want to do is I want to use the help action, I think is what it is,
Okay.
or aid. And I want to try to help Dante to break out of his funk, and I want to do that by casting message and speaking directly into his mind. Be like, "Hey, Dante, snap out of it, come back to us."
I like it.
That's what I want to do.
All right. Why don't we? Because I mean, message. There's really nothing inherently to roll on message, but I like what you're doing here. Why don't we use Arcana, like as you sort of try to almost enhance your voice as you plead with the inner psyche of Dante the stupid at the moment. No offense.
What did you want me to roll something?
Yeah, an Arcana check, please.
Oh, Arcana. Gotcha. Arcana. You know.
Okay.
Plus
That's
6.
a huge modifier.
I'm
I like
holding
that.
I'm holding on to that until we get to Dante's turn.
Okay.
Sorry, you holding there?
Yeah, I'll probably move forward so I can be. No, I'm good. I'll probably move forward there.
10 feet there?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You see the mage, well really Schmidt, you're the only one who clocks this at the moment. He sort of crouches down, like his eyes have like never left yours since you caught him here. And almost like he's slinging a snowball like over the wall. He kind of uses the body to gain a little bit more cover, and he just and throws another firebolt at you, slinging that shit right towards you. And he's almost expecting it. You have no problem like kind of sidestepping it quickly.
I grin menacingly at him.
You see him snarling. You see like these just sharpened tusks kind of jutting out from his extended jaw. Why don't you and your friends come closer? He speaks in very good common. Dante, you hear this familiar, annoying voice ring out inside your mind.
What were the words again?
What were the words again?
I said, "Hey, come, Dante, come back to us. Snap out of it."
I need you, Dante, with advantage turned on, to once more roll an intelligence saving throw. You kind of moan one last time, and your eyes recognize for the first time how much drool and bile is sort of coughed and spilled out over your boots right now. And you look down at your feet, and you don't really know where you are. And to the best of your ability, you recognize the people with you as friends, but you don't know where you are, and you don't remember why you're here. It's your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, that makes me feel like a caged animal, and I don't like to be a caged animal.
He knows we're friends, though.
You recognize the situation, the people around you. You believe them to be friendly, other than this weird brain creature at your feet. But you don't know why you recognize them. You don't know where you recognize them from.
Sure.
And
yeah, like, I'm a battle-worthy vet. You know, I'm fighting for a while, and I'm still holding the stick that this dog is in, this javelin, right?
Yeah, I mean it's basically like it's down on the ground, but like your hand is still kind of touching the end of the javelin, still jutting out from it.
So I would say that even though I don't know exactly what happens, through my own history and knowledge of this kind of thing, even though I'm an idiot, would know looking where the line of the battle line is. You know what I mean? Like who's on either side.
Yeah.
Would you
I like
agree?
that. I'd like that. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So like Terminator looking around, assessing, boom, boom, and then what do I have left to do? I mean, that's kind of.
I'd say you
I
can
don't.
still take a full move action if you want, which would
Okay.
be 30 feet for you.
Okay.
Rainier kind of like sees you, and Altar.
Oh.
You can definitely say one clear thing as well. Like you can get like one sentence out.
The orc mage is at the top of the stairs. He's the one who did this.
Okay.
Rainier's kind of like pointing with his rapier.
So what I do then is I put the javelin down. I pulled my shield out, and the pick, and I crack my neck and I use second wind.
Oh.
Like,
Go ahead and
as I pull the stuff up.
go ahead and I think you just click it.
Click it.
The little healing button on there.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby.
You're
That's
feeling
a good-
good.
And I get behind my shield.
That was a chiropractic
All right.
second wind. You're all aligned
I'm
now.
just gonna mark
Love
that
it.
off.
Good.
And let me just double check one thing. So that's your bonus action, second wind.
Mhm.
You can still move 30 feet if you want, or you can hold here. The second wind's only a bonus action.
Let's see. I'm looking at my HP. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Well, I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna step over the dog, and this is more for theatrics.
Okay.
And like step up with my shield out. Oh wait,
Okay.
Schmidt's over there. Oh, I thought Schmidt was behind me.
I ran out. Well,
Okay.
you don't see Schmidt. You see, what's
Yeah.
his face? The fucking
Krentz.
dude from
Right.
the tavern.
Yeah, you see Krentz, the guy who
Krentz.
the dipper.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I come to the corner then.
I
As you
did
come-
yell the orc mage.
You can
Just so
you
you
come
know.
to the corner. You see the orc mage using that red-haired human man as a sort of partial shield low on the ground, and see Schmidt. You can almost feel the heat just dissipating as like you see Schmidt kind of like leaned over to the side as if he just dodged something. Rainier kind of flicking the brain bits and blood off. Also goes sort of charging in around Schmidt. And let's see, what's his total moves? 30. He takes one of the daggers and he just throws it towards the orc.
Oh.
Disadvantage,
Oh!
but still manages to hit.
Oh shit.
And in a moment where it looks like the dagger penetrates him and deals damage, you just see again, like that tusked maw was just glaring at you, Schmidt, and the dagger almost looks like it hits the robe, but you see his hand come up in the last possible moment as if he's wiping in front of himself, and the dagger just stops almost right about to damage the robe that you've been admiring so much, and you just see them freeze in the air for a moment, and he flicks his hand forward, the same one he flung the fire at you, and the dagger just drops to the ground with a clink.
Oh.
And you see him like incredibly frustrated as he expends a fairly strong magic shielding himself, and the damage does not hold.
Hey! Watch that robe. I want it.
Come up to Schmidt.
Haha.
What are you doing?
Yeah, but stay there. I'm gonna use you as cover.
Yeah.
And
I like this leapfrogging action.
wait. I want to turn that into advantage with tides.
Okay.
I could use tides. Give me. Oh wait, hang on. I don't want to do that. I want to do the firebolt. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Take one of these.
Almost having a false start, you kind of change the path of your arm at the last moment, catching the orc off guard. He does have partial cover, but it doesn't matter. You still manage to nail him clear over the body of Floon.
Dunk.
Like you kind of catch him as he's still like glaring. Like just as he dropped the shield, like your little firebolt came blasting in, catching him off guard. Alatar, what are you doing?
I want to also yell at him and be like, "Come out and fight like a man!"
I run carefully dodging the blood that's all over the ground from the brain dog, and I see just the kind of final flames spin and swirl and hit him, and I'm like, oh yeah, fire and ice. And I drop that, and he saves.
He saves. And when he saves, there's no partial damage, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Almost as if like the heat still gathered around him worked to your combined fire and ice disadvantage this time. It just doesn't hold and stick. Or maybe it's his orcish blood. Who knows? You holding there?
Yep.
All right. The mage, once more, kind of like looking over each of you, fires another firebolt straight at Raynor here. Oh my god. You see him just and like there's nothing happening. Like the sparks aren't coming, there's no flame.
Starting to panic.
He's starting to panic, and he immediately turns and runs, throwing the threadbare red curtains wide. He goes into some room out of view.
He's getting away.
Dante, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pursue.
Okay.
Hot pursuit. I keep the hammer out. I put the shield on my back in order to run faster.
Okay.
And which hall do you go down? If I run this way, okay, yeah. I think I have a 35. No, I have a 30. Okay, yep. Going right there. Right. Okay, there.
Okay.
Peeking in.
You run just fast enough that like the curtains are still swinging a bit, and so you can kind of see into the room. And oops, 1 second. Some weird shit is happening. I don't know why that happened before. There we go. And so you just catch a glimpse of this guy like right in front of you. If you were to try to throw something, you could do so, but with disadvantage.
Okay. Okay. All right. There's something I don't know if I want to use it yet.
Okay. You could do a double move, or you could hold here.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Okay. I'm gonna use this thing called I don't know how to drag this here. This.
You don't have that yet. Sorry.
Third
yeah,
level.
yeah,
I
third level.
didn't
Yeah.
read that part. Okay.
It's a piece of you that is currently not active.
Dormant.
Yes.
I was like,
dormant.
Okay. Yeah.
You've only done it once before in a very dire situation.
Yeah. Okay. Shit. I'm gonna throw one of my hand axes that I have here.
Okay.
Hand it my belt when I see
Switching to the hand axe mid sprint, you throw. At this guy turn disadvantage on. Disadvantage.
Yeah. I'm turning it on.
And show me what you got.
Ooh.
You
still
throw
nice.
like in the most perfect moment as one of the curtains swings wide. You just take all of your stupefied drool energy and hurl the hand axe, and it connects. Do damage. He like slumps over, and like the thing is literally like sticking out of the back of his shoulder blade. And you see him reaching for like a trunk in the corner of the room, desperately reaching.
Stop him!
Raynor pursues as well, doing a double.
Pretty boy,
move.
he's getting something.
Yeah.
Throwing the curtains wide, he closes the gap on him and tries to. Well, you can see him making the motion to try to snatch at the dwarf's hand, as the orc flips the trunk open. Schmidt, what are you doing?
I want to run over there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Get involved.
Yeah. I want to get all up in there, and I'm just gonna firebolt. You're not getting away.
Rainier
That easy.
attempts to duck as he hears you scream.
Oh no!
Watch it!
I light the shit behind him on fire.
Alatar.
Fuck.
I'm gonna run up, and as I do, I'm gonna pull out my crossbow.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, let's see if this works. Now I'm gonna shoot it right at his dumb face.
Yes, please.
You fire and connect. Rainer still kind of reeling backward from the firebolt, giving you a clear shot. The thing connects. Yeah.
Right through like his neck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just see him like, and you immediately hear like a clinking of glass on whatever his hand was grabbing inside the trunk. Rainier kind of drops him and walks back and says, he almost has hands on another potion.
Oh, grab that, and then I turn around and I look directly at my feet and I say, we should probably help Floon. And I kneel down.
Oh shit.
And I see if there's anything that I can, like, is he breathing? Is he, like, I check the vital signs. I've read some books on.
Yep. He is not currently breathing.
I go over to him and I put my hand on his chest and I kind of just put my head down in silence for a second. And I kind of have this like literal glow come out, like seeping through my closed orifices, coming from within, and I do healing hands on his body. Where's his body at?
Right, that bloody
stain.
Right
yeah. It's just a 1, but it's better than a none.
You sorry, one second.
Just crossed it off.
You see like he as you touch him and kind of surge your energy through him, there's initially no movement and no reaction, and Rainier just comes like running over, dropping his blades, not even sheathing them behind once the orc drops. And he just starts screaming like, Floon! Floon! And you're kind of releasing this energy into him. Nothing's happening, and Rainier keeps shaking him, and it almost seems like way too much time passes before there's like one quick like gasp as he starts to breathe and convulse, and he starts to sit up slowly, rasping and wheezing. I died. And he just starts looking around at you all, and he's just like this. He's not as stupefied as Dante was earlier, but he just seems completely out of it.
Yeah, I guess you did. By the way, I'm not a dwarf, but glad you're back.
Looking at you just with half-lidded, heavy, sunken eyes.
Should we leave before the tentacle guy comes back? Is there anything on that orc guy we want to grab? You guys want to look around?
What tentacle guy?
There was a tentacle guy.
The snake face.
Are you saying tentacle or tentacle?
Tentacle.
Squid face.
Yeah.
In here?
Yeah, like a mind
over
flare.
There.
Looks fucked up.
You as you go to the chest where the orc body is, aside from immediately in the chest itself, in the trunk, you see 2 more healing potions that he was reaching for.
Oh, nice.
You also
give
see
one to Dante
nestled next to them, partially visible, a very thick leather-bound tome with like a dark, like almost carrying case around it. Almost like a Crown Royal bag for like a fancy book. And that's it inside the trunk itself.
Nice.
I
grab it. I grab all of it.
I'm gonna saunter over. Do you find anything good?
Yeah, he's got this devil book or demon book.
Could I look at it?
Yeah. And I pull the robes off orc guy.
Okay, you start doing that.
I keep him safe.
I grab the book and I look it over. Does it look like a thing that I would be interested in?
Yeah, initially, it is written in common, but it's written
Okay.
in such a style that it is incredibly bizarre to you. It's clear that it's the working of this half orc. You know, it's almost got like a brutish kind of sense to it. But you
Okay.
see that it is indeed his spell book.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And you're not able to identify everything, but you're able to you kind of just an initial flip through, you think you'd be able to decipher some of it and extract some of his spells if you
Okay.
wanted to do that.
Can I add that as a orc spellbook?
Yeah, I'll
Orc
drop I'll
mage.
drop something in your
Oh.
inventory for that.
Okay.
Give me a moment. And I would say too, as you guys linger about, you also notice now that the book has been removed from the chest, that there is a partially ajar. I'd say that you kind of clock this, Altar, as you take the book. Something seems wrong in the bottom of the chest, like something's like slightly off in the wood panel, and it's pretty clear to you that there's some sort of false bottom once you get close to it.
I think there's a false bottom. Here, help me, and I kind of like push around the edges. I like line my fingers around the sides, trying to find like a seam. See if I can't like pry it up. And if
Same,
not,
I'll help.
and I'll pull out my knife even if I
Same.
need to.
Doesn't take too long with your effort there.
I help.
You definitely help. You see, it's almost like it's just a perfect rectangular cutout in there, and inside are stacked a few columns of coins. All told, it's probably about 35 gold.
Okay, sweet.
Ooh.
Can you just drop that in the party inventory,
I can, and I will.
and we'll divvy it up later?
Yeah.
Nice. There's a party inventory? Where do you see that?
Yeah.
It's in the upper right. There's something called a party sheet. It's at
Oh,
the very,
yeah.
very top.
Mhm.
Nice.
And let me.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. You can also like designate how your order of walking is that in this one too.
Yeah.
The tab on the side. Yeah, see that.
The order.
Cool.
Yeah.
Order, yeah. It's neat.
I'm giving you
Pity,
some
I'm gonna-
robes, Schmidt.
Let's see.
Fine
Mage.
wizard robes. One sec.
Anybody else feel like we shouldn't hang around?
Yeah,
Feeling
definitely.
like we
get out.
should get the fuck out of
I
here.
agree. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to be here anymore. I don't even remember why or where I am here for.
Do you remember that your name is Dante?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. We came down here to rescue this Floon Blagmar guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that dog thing really did a number on your brain. Maybe it sucked out part of it.
The boyfriends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I point over to Floon and Rainer.
Mm. Yeah. They look kind of similar, don't they? I wonder if
Yes.
they're related.
Yeah. I would say I'm a really observant person. Do I notice any particular looks of affection between them?
Yes.
That maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, as you sort of study him, and you see Rainier trying to support all the weight of Floon to the best he can, Floon kind of grabs and pulls at Rainier's shirt, and you immediately notice this is just Alatar alone. A harp-like symbol, like a pin on the inside of his shirt.
Ooh.
And you've seen it before. It's the symbol of the Harpers.
Got it.
Rainier kind of like looks at y'all, like almost like he only half heard what you were saying. Yes, we should certainly get out of here, and I don't know if going through wherever that thing went is our best path.
Nope. Back the way we came. You walk the path you've walked before.
He's nodding and kind of just reshifting himself to get better under Floon. We should get back to safety, and then you all can loop in with Volo.
Yeah. Okay. This dog, though, I want to like see if I can pull out some teeth or something.
As you get close to the dog, there are no teeth. There are large,
It's like a squid face, right?
clawed hands. This thing is like literally a brain on the body with 4 massive creature-like legs coming off of it.
I want to get a piece of its brains.
Okay.
Like a honk of brain.
Yeah.
Kind of wrap it up in a rag and then put it in my sack.
Okay.
I would say under normal circumstances, like Alatar would be absolutely fascinated in studying this thing. Current circumstances, he is ready to GTFO.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
No delay.
All right. You all immediately start backtracking and kind of making your way out of here. Anything in particular you want to do, or are you just sort of cautiously moving as fast as you can?
Schmidt did hand out, he gave Dante a potion of healing, I think, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, I gave Dante one and I kept the other one myself.
Okay,
I
cool.
forgot to write down.
Cool.
Oh, here, I'll add the business for you.
Alright.
One moment. For anything that has mechanical effects, I typically have stuff I can just drop on you. So sorry, it was Dante and Schmidt?
And Schmidt, yeah.
Okay. Potion of healing.
Although, I mean, Floon still looks pretty fucked up. I mean, we could give it to him.
He'll be okay. I think he only has like 2 hit points.
Yeah, I mean, this would bring him back up to full. It would help. I don't know.
Dante, correct me if I'm wrong. Does that mean you now have 2 potions of healing?
That is correct.
I think you had one from before you guys headed in here. Someone gave you one.
That sounds right.
Okay. All right. I need you all to make a group stealth check. And this is just. I'll probably ask for 2 to get all the way out of here.
Okay.
If you're just slinking back the way you came. And again, you need to basically have at least half the party get 10 or higher on their checks. Okay, when someone rolls a natural 20 like that, I think Schmidt more than makes up for any shortcomings in the group in that.
Should I roll anyways, just to see what it was going to be? Okay.
If you want to.
If you roll a 1,
that's true.
We're gonna need a tiebreaker.
That's true.
I'm already the tiebreaker.
I'm gonna explain this by I'm like using my minor illusion to put like planks over walls that I think you fucking dick.
Oh my god.
You fuck you.
You're doing that, and then let's see.
Well, I thought you were encouraging me to do it. I wouldn't.
I was.
Okay.
All right.
In a sort of combined perfect moment, Dante, clearly still suffering from the stupefaction, is like about to splash through some sewer muck right near one of like the arrow slits, and you minor illusion something up. Raynor, in a quick motion, just sort of lightly pushes Floon's weight onto Alatar for the briefest moment to help catch Dante before spinning back and almost catching Floon like he's doing some sort of graceful dance with a ballerina. And you're safe for now. You continue slogging on, and you must have gotten turned around somewhere because you swear that you already passed these arrow slits, but you crossed their path once more for one final collective stealth check.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely don't go down that way.
Okay. And let's just make sure Rainier doesn't roll a 1.
I love it, dude. I love it so much.
Ooh.
Sneakily and
Little help with my
surely,
friends.
you recognize more snoring sounds as you go past through like that circular hub, and you're able to slosh your way past what is assuredly another sleeping goblin, and eventually you make your way back to where Dante, amazingly enough, is able to like clock more of the chalk symbols, and eventually you kind of get your way out of the labyrinth and find a ladder that goes back up to the streets of Waterdeep.
Oh.
And Dante definitely thinks, man, I'm glad I didn't have to roll anymore to get us out of this one.
Oh God.
I imagine you're still super out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm out of it, all right.
Oh my God. So with that, it takes a bit of time before you kind of are able to actually figure out where the hell you are as you crawl out of the sewers. And eventually, I think Rainier or Schmidt or Altar probably would have clocked something, a common enough intersection, that you're able to kind of make your way back to the yawning portal. And Rainier says, I keep a permanent room there. It's our best bet. We could talk to Obaya. She can hopefully help your friend. And he looks at Dante a bit troubled. And I can tend to my floon. And you all takes about a couple hours, given the
Who
state of
said that?
things. That was Rainier.
Okay.
But eventually you come back into the yawning portal, and it's quite late at night. It's probably almost 2 a.m. And the place still has some patrons. But I just imagine, almost like in an old saloon, you all just silhouetting in the doorway with like slumped over bodies, haggard as all hell. Do you still have the disguises on? How it's
That lasts an
No.
hour.
Yeah, it would
Oh,
have
yeah,
dropped.
yeah, they would
You
have
said a
dropped
couple
some.
hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I'll put your token.
And
Hold on.
I would also say that I would have probably looked for a cart or something and like paid off a driver to take us
Okay,
because we're so haggard and exhausted.
that makes sense. Okay. I'd say you find someone. Just for sake of simplicity and the urgency of your situation, I'm just gonna knock 1 gold off your party inventory
That's fine.
in terms of like the wheeling and dealing with that. And you're able to do that. You're able to get back, maybe a little bit less exhausted, but still, it's been quite a couple of days for you all since you were last here at the yawning portal. Might as well bring it back up just for fun. 1 moment.
Before we get to our destination,
Mm-hmm.
Alatar's like leaning back and he's just looking at Dante. Like just kind of giving him the look all the way up and down, trying to figure out why does this guy's eyes glow? And he's just
They're really dim right now.
but he just catches like the faintest of little sparks.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm.
Was that
Okay.
obvious earlier?
I think there were definitely moments when it was obvious. It might have been the most obvious when he was healing Floon,
Oh, okay.
which also seemed supernatural.
Wait, Dante was healing Floon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why don't we? Yeah, I like it, Alatar. If you all wanna, let's say you're about 30 minutes out from the yawning portal when you think these thoughts, and if there's any conversation, or is it just grim silence as you all march on using the wagon to carry Floon?
Definitely not silence. After like a few minutes, I would say Alatar just like, there's something more to you than meets the eye.
Who you say it to?
I'll say it to you. To Dante.
Yeah.
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 Where are you from, Dante?
Here.
From Waterdeep?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
You're not from
God.
Waterdeep. Which part of Waterdeep are you from? I'm from Waterdeep.
I'm not familiar with many parts here yet.
But wait. Yet? How old are you? I mean, you're very clearly like you
That's a good
look.
question. I don't really know my age.
Do you have like lapses in memory? Do you
No,
do you
no. I grew up in a great place down the street. The Xanathar run it. I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's a fighting hole, basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Oh, were you a slave child?
He was a slave child.
I don't like that term.
You,
Oh,
I look
sorry.
at Schmidt angrily.
you
Oh,
both
sorry.
you both
It's like you hit
educated.
a chord.
You educated and
I mean,
you two would have some familiarity with rumors of this underground fighting ring, and the notion that the Xanathar Guild uses slaves to do some of the darker things in their organization are rumors that you've definitely heard before.
So, why do the eyes glow? That's pretty cool.
Just born that way, I guess. Sorry you don't have them.
Would I have read anything about, I don't know,
Yeah.
people through history? I'm pretty well educated, would know
Yeah.
quite a few things about.
You can make a history check. I'm into that.
Okay.
As you ponder.
I feel like
This
you're like
character.
up in
Yeah, he is.
Dante's Grove.
He definitely is. Asking a lot of
Why
questions,
do
doing
you
a lot of
look
poking
at
and
me
prodding.
like this little man? Weird man. Because I'm actually the little man. Remember, I'm short. I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
to do.
yeah. But
I'm
you're
like
like Ray Park short.
I'm like 6 feet tall.
I'm 5'2", I think.
But you're stocky.
Yeah, why do you look at me this way?
I think it looks really cool. And I do one of these. And I disguise self. Probably resetting Tides of Chaos.
Hmm.
But I make my eyes glow like Dante. I like
Nice.
it.
Ooh, you look good, Schmidt.
Hey.
Ha!
Alatar, you
See?
immediately, like, almost like with,
Feel jealous?
at times, you have this like photographic memory at times where like flashes just come back to you, Alatar, almost as if like you're looking in the pages of a book. And in this case, you're looking at the pages of a painted figure, and it looks something like this. And you've heard of these humanoids who at times look exactly like any other human creature you've encountered in Faerun. But you know that the eyes are unmistakably identical to those of an Aasimar, but you've seen no wings.
Okay.
And you're
I
quite
don't-
certain that Dante is more than just a man. More than
I
just a
don't
short man.
say it. I don't say anything about it.
Okay.
I just think about it. I just kind of lean back. Oh, and I immediately check my books. Make sure my
Look at
books are
him.
there.
Did you find what you were looking for? I look up and down.
I'm just curious. You're a very interesting sort of person. Not someone that I've met. You're unlike anyone I've met before.
Because his eyes glow?
You are all like anyone
No.
I've ever met.
We're like people you've met?
No.
That's a compliment. Because the only
I think
people
so.
Yeah.
left to meet in Waterdeep are just scum.
That's true. I'd say it would just kind of fall into silence a little bit.
Okay. Now you carry on. Eventually, the general softer but still semi-active hubbub of the yawning portal kind of echoes out from a distance. You're probably just a few hundred feet away from the entrance right now.
As we're walking up there, I do want to kind of hold our group back a little bit and say, how much do you guys bet that Floon and Raina are, you know?
Oh.
I just kind of look at him and I'm like,
I keep looking behind me.
yeah, sure.
Didn't he say my Floon? I thought I heard him say that. I didn't.
Oh, he totally said
Yeah.
mind fluent, that's for sure.
Could you imagine losing someone you loved to that demon dog brain thing?
That
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
that
that's
would
funny too.
That squid face thing. Ugh.
And
Yeah.
you're kind of like laughing almost incessantly, Dante. When you it feels like you're waking back up a little bit, and
Mhm.
you remember the voice of that thing echoing in your brain 10 times over on top of itself, underwater, rippling through your mind. You heard him say, "You've come back to pay your debt so soon." Echo, echo, echo. And you kind of you see him in your mind's eye again, and you feel like that same stunned moment. Anyone around you would see you just kind of stop just for this brief moment, and you see the tentacled face of that thing, and you remember it lurking in the shadows behind Xanathar, the floating beholder, in a meeting when you were just a child, almost as if it was this lurking advisor in the back behind your
Mm.
monstrous boss, owner, whatever you called him. And you know that whoever that thing was, you're not sure of a name, but you know that he is deeply, deeply connected to Xanathar. You kind of snap back out of it. Only really about a second passes before you realize you kind of were frozen in this.
Well, we've had a very adventuresome evening. I know there are a few things that I'd like to look through. Maybe we could get a drink, go find I know the girl's name, or Alatar would know the girl's name, but I forgot her name already.
Me too.
What's her name? Uh,
Uh,
oh, Obaya.
oh, yes,
Oh
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
We'll go talk to Obaya,
yeah.
and yeah,
Okay.
and Alatar walks through the front door.
Okay. You all head in. There's probably about a dozen loosely scattered patrons, some people in pairs, many mostly sitting alone. The hour is late, and as you head towards the room that you've met Obaya in at least twice now, you find that room, that meeting room on this ground floor to be empty.
Well, I mean, I guess we could go in here. One of us can go ask Durnan if he's seen Obaya.
Hmm.
And I turn around, I walk back and go to the bar.
Okay.
I'll go find Durnan.
Yeah. As you guys approach the bar, it's empty for a moment, but then you see like the swinging doors from what you guess is the kitchen push open, and you see a pretty tired-looking Durnan kind of like approaches out and gives you a nod of familiarity. Said, "Huh? Still alive after Volo's quest, huh?"
Hmm,
Of course.
more or less.
He kind of like
Have you
looks you all
seen
up and down.
Obaya?
Hmm. Kind of nods. She was in her usual room most of the evening for the late dinner hour. She's sleeping now, I'd guess. Typically retires to her room by 11:30.
Hmm.
Oh wait, what time is it?
It's probably about like 1:30ish now. Kind of
Oh, in the
backtrack from
morning?
that 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's 1
Oh
a.m.
shit.
Past
Okay.
1 a.m.
Oh. Oh, let's get her tomorrow. Let's just sleep for the night.
I mean, Floon doesn't look so good.
You said he'll be fine.
Okay.
Rainier's kind of like wobbling in with you, and like Durnan talks over all of you. Says, "Jesus Christ, Rainier, what happened to your friend?" He kind of looks at him. And says, "He got in a bad way with the guild. Um, you still have those potions you owe me." He kind of gives him a nod and quickly pushes 2 healing potions out from underneath the bar over the counter, and throws like a bundle of bandages and some sort of salve that he kind of pulls out and says, Good luck. Let me know if you need anything else. Volo said he'd be by tomorrow night. Kind of like looks at you all and finishes his look back at Rainier. Rainier nods and starts taking Floon off with him, implying that he's got some sort of room here. And they start heading upstairs.
Speaking of rooms, do you have any?
I still owe you all from the troll the other night.
Yep.
Consider your rooms, drinks, food on me for the next few nights.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know about these guys, but I could use a giant dinner. Anything you have left over from the evening's meal,
Alright, we still got some
please.
some leftover cold potatoes, still some stew. I could heat it up for you, or I could bring it out cold right now.
I would say warm it up at least. We'll take a couple. I don't know, a bottle of wine if you have it.
Sure. He kind of like pulls a bottle of red out and puts it on the counter for you, and goes and just pours a few drafts from one of his wood kegs in the back there, and just puts that all on the counter. And says, "I'll be back in 10 minutes or so." And heads back to the kitchen. You can kind of hear him starting something up.
I wander up back over to Obaya's room, and as soon as I get up there, I sit in a corner and I pull out the spell book from the Orc Mage.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Once I kind of put my hand on it and just kind of look it over, and then hold on, let me see here. I pull out the pearl that I have and I just kind of trace over it.
Okay.
And an owl feather, and I spend the next probably 10 minutes or so ritually casting Identify.
Okay.
Nice.
Give me one.
I sit right next to you while you do this, and I pull out the orc's robes because I have, and like the little any kind of jewelry he had on him, I took that as well. So
Okay.
I'm like, hey, while you're looking at that, here's something else. You know, maybe the runes on this cape mean something.
Yeah. I'll look over it. Just give me a second with this, and it'll be a few minutes. I have to really look through it. But if there's anything else, I know we also had that the magic shop. I don't know. There are a couple of things I want to look at from there as well.
Oh, Zoblobs? I got these sweet purple socks. Oh, I pull them out and I put those on the pile for you to look at. Yeah. Just in case. You never know. You never know.
Okay. Moment.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
But
Dante, you still sitting at the bar during all this? What are you doing?
you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I am. I'm just slowly regaining my memory.
Okay. All right.
Does the taste of beer like awaken any of your little mind capsules? Wake you up a little bit?
Let me see. I would say, Bailey, don't bark at me, please. Thank you. Is it? It's this?
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, that
works.
Nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That really wakes you up.
The beer tastes very familiar. Very,
Yeah.
very familiar.
Yeah. It's the only beer I've ever known.
Okay, so as you spend time kind of perusing the spellbook you got from the orc, you're able to make out 6 spells. The first one is Burning Hands,
Holy
and
shit.
your mind quickly does some magic math, and you realize if he knew that, you're really fucking glad he used all of his ability to shield himself instead of casting a cone of fire down a narrow stairwell.
Yeah.
You also see Disguise Self. You see a spell called False Life. You see the shield spell that he clearly used against you. You see one called Unseen Servant and another called Witch Bolt.
Oh my god.
And it is now identified in your inventory if you want to look through that.
Oh my god.
There are also
Oh, his name!
an additional 100 blank vellum pages, which are beautiful and ripe for future arcane transcriptions.
That's fucking on point. This is a
Oh,
good
look.
find.
Look, like right here. There's this description on the inside of the book.
Mm.
Grumshar. Must have been his name.
Grumshar?
That's
It
such
sounds
a
very
cool name.
orcish.
That is a cool name. Oh, I'm gonna make myself look like him. I can't
Okay.
now, but
So, and
tomorrow.
as you start to, are you looking at the robes next?
Yep.
Okay. I just imagine, Schmidt, you went in there this time when you were kind of like, oh, do me.
Yeah. And the
and-
Zoblob's purple socks.
Okay. Well, starting with the robes, it's pretty clear pretty quickly that there is nothing inherently magical about them. But you do notice that a few spots when you initially put it on looked like they were torn and damaged, are no longer so. Like it's immaculate. It's almost like it just came from the cleaners and is brand new, starched and perky in all the right places.
I
Hey, hey!
I look at Schmidt and I'm like, this is very special. Not only does it have the power to clean itself and to repair itself, which is pretty outstanding, but it's lucky.
It's lucky.
It's lucky. Now,
Lucky.
I don't know a lot about that particular field of magic. I know that woven in these threads, there's something quite special. I would hold on to that.
I want to wear it, and I immediately start putting it on.
You actually find, unlike other clothing items, that it almost like slips on in about 5 seconds of just like quick wiggling,
Whoa!
and it fits you like a glove.
Silky. Ooh, I look
Actually-
immaculate.
Yeah, you look pretty damn good, actually.
Dang.
For all intents and purposes, out of character, you didn't detect any crazy magic in there, but you almost suspect Alatar, and I don't know if you shared this or not, that it's kind of like imbued with like a strange form of like prestidigitation or something.
Yeah. Okay. I'm totally just fucking with him with
Yeah,
the luck thing.
I know, it's great. Yeah.
I believe it.
Dante, anytime
Okay.
anytime your magical beer of memory restoration disappears, you see one of like the very tired serving girls immediately refills and puts another one in front of you.
Ooh.
You quickly guess that Durin's left her with like a keep the fluids flowing order before he
I
disappeared
look up
into
to
the
the
kitchen.
girl that pours it to me, and does she give me any kind of reaction?
She looks tired, but she looks up from kind of matted hair on the front of her face and just gives you like a smirk and a nod before she turns away and just kind of scans the room, looking at the other patrons about to see if she's needed.
Okay. I nod back.
There.
Few more. Yeah.
I have questions. So
Okay.
many questions.
Sure.
So the thing that I identified, the spell book, do I get to just add all of those spells to my spell list?
I have to
that how that works?
remember how the transcription stuff works. We can look at it, and once
It
you all
costs
have
money, I think.
once you all have your rest, you will basically be level 2. So next time we'll need to add that in. We can look at the same for the spells between this session and next. I think if you keep his spell book, you might be able to study from it just as you would your own. But you would have to like lug both around potentially.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. We'll make a call on that and dig into that a little bit between sessions. And then you were still looking at some of the other stuff you guys got?
Oh yeah.
Sucks. Everything we got from Zoblobs.
Sucks?
Yeah.
Just
I have
in case.
a bright glowy purple rock from the store that I want to look at.
Okay, and I'd say these items take a little bit quicker than the last two.
Okay. There's a book, and then there was a spell book.
Okay.
I'm looking at all of those.
Okay.
As well as the purple socks.
Let's start with the purple glowy rock.
Nice.
You don't really think there's much to it, and you almost kind of throw it a little bit to like bounce away from you on the table, and you notice that it's sure to like bounce against this like very ornate silver teapot that's always there whenever you've met with Obaya at the other end of the table, and the thing goes like flying toward it, and there's like oh shit kind of moment, and the rock almost like stops and cushions itself, like those drawers, like when you shove them, but then they kind of cushion and slowly stop anyway.
Ooh.
The rock sort of has a similar effect about it.
The Ezen rock.
It's the rock of cushioning, yes.
The rock of Ezen.
And it's purple. What was the other thing you're looking at?
I had just a normal book, and I had a spell book and glowy socks.
Oh yeah, the spell book from the store. You imagine that you got quite a deal on that spell book. It is purple on the cover and on the outer edges of the pages. But the paper is just as nice as that in Grumshar's spell book, and you imagine that in its normal form, pre-dyed purple. And maybe arguably ruined to some in terms of aesthetics, it's still probably worth about 50 gold, or a great home for additional spells.
Does it? How many pages? I don't know if that's important.
There are 100 pages. Yeah, actually, if you open up the info on it, it should be all that should be in there on that little button there.
And you said Grumshar's was 100 as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
Just
making notes.
And then what were you looking at next?
There was a normal book and then glowy socks.
The normal book. Oh, the book from the store. Let's So this one is just like an old storybook about some ancient empire and like a dotty prince that thought he knew everything, and it's just like some fun little folk tale about that with various crude black and white ink drawings in them throughout.
I'm absolutely fascinated, and I keep it to read later.
All right.
And then I'll do glowy socks.
Glowy socks.
Or purple socks.
Okay. You kind of examine them, and you do get a slight sense of a tingling sensation when you touch them. And as you sort of examine them, your fingers sort of slip on the inside, and the moment they kind of pass through, you feel this like bit of warmth about you. And then you're curious enough that you sort of push your whole hand in, and you realize that the socks are sort of magically emanating a warmth on the inside. But they are the worst, brightest plum purple you've ever seen in your life. And pretty hideous to look at by most people's standards, at least in Waterdeep.
Those socks, they like self-heat. They like heat them. Yeah, they'll keep your feet warm. They're just ugly as sin.
Ugly? These are the most fashionable socks I've ever seen in my life. Why do you think I got them? I love them.
I look right at you, and I think, is Schmidt a trendsetter? like, am I gonna see fucking purple socks everywhere after this?
This is the new hotness.
I like to think that you like pull them up over your baggy pants like some fucking old golfer.
Oh my god. And there's one purple knife.
So you look at the purple knife. And it's very ornate and ceremonial, and it almost feels too light. And it seems very frail. You don't really get any magical sense about it, though. It just seems like maybe in the right hands of someone who really loves purple, Schmidt comes to mind in this particular moment. You might be able to pawn it off for what more than it's actually worth. Like, the materials do not seem valuable at all.
This purple knife, I think it goes with those socks. I don't know how, though.
Ooh.
Yeah. If you
I mean, if you want to give it to me, I can't afford it.
Oh, I mean, maybe just go get a bottle of wine and we'll just share it, and I'll give it to you. I just kind of slide it over the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
thank you. Wow.
At this
I've never had. Wait. No one's ever just given me something before. This is.
What?
Are you sure?
No one's given you something before? Have you not?
Yeah. No. What do you need? Like I can't just take it.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me. It's a gift to you. We've been through hell and back.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll go get that one.
Yeah.
I can get that one.
And by this point, like as you guys are sort of going back and forth here, you do start to smell food, and
Oh god.
your guts are just grumbling with aching hunger, like all the
Oh, yeah.
exhaustion just built up. I like to think that you go back and like Dante's already like face deep in a bowl of stew. He's probably already had two bowls, and you see
It
Durnan
just keeps-
Durnan just kind of like watching it and smiling.
It just keeps
beneath his
getting
stash.
stopped at Dante. Dante's like, no, wait, I'll take that.
Yep.
Where are you going with that? Yeah.
But sure enough, good to his word. He feeds you. He puts a pair of keys on the counter. Says, I've only got 2 rooms right now, but they're yours. One of you might have to take a floor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
I sleep on the floor. I'm used to it.
Okay.
I sleep in a bed. I'm used to it.
Unless you all are doing anything else, we can fast forward to the next day. I imagine, unless you say otherwise, that you all sleep in quite late, considering the hour when you eventually turned in and what you've been
Yeah.
through. Like the amount of exhaustion you're feeling is pretty high.
I would say before that happens, I would go up to Dante and I'd just be like, hey, I know we got a few odds and ends. If there's anything special you want me to look at, I can. Sometimes the items we get are, unique in some way, and I'm good at spotting that stuff. So
I show him the.
Oh,
Did you hear me?
no,
Nope.
I didn't hear you.
Oop. Nope. Sorry. You cut out.
Oh, I said I show him the war pick and the shield.
Okay. They are finely made. You don't sense anything magical about them, Alatar. You do think that the war pig is probably worth about 5 gold, considering its craftsmanship. The shield also does not seem magical, but it's also pretty well made, and probably valued at about 10 gold if it were bought brand new.
they're both valuable.
Awesome.
They're not magical, but they're very valuable. I'd hold on to those. Like 5 gold is like a fuckload of money, right?
I mean, for you right now, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else going on before you eventually meet up with Rainier again?
I
Not for
would.
me.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'd
Yeah.
sit down and eat and read that book.
Okay. I'd say most of you probably awaken to a very late morning soft knock at your door and see a much more cleaned up Rainier, really filling the image of what you imagine as the son of the former open lord of Waterdeep, like which is just the highest nobility in the city. He smells nice. His hair is beautiful, and he's very dashing, very romance novel cover as he looks in at you all. He says, "I've reached out to Floon, and he should be here with us shortly. Or sorry, Volo. Floon's been sent home to his wife and kids. He's doing much better,
Brokeback Mountain.
thanks to you."
He's married?
Yes.
Oh.
Who did you have kids with?
I don't know her name if I'm being honest, and I don't care to.
Interesting.
I'll
So
meet
wait,
you all downstairs and whenever you're ready.
I'm
Obaya's-
just stuffing my face.
Obaya's agreed to give us use of her private booth. I owe you all immensely for what you've done this past night. And I'll make sure Volo's aware of that when we all meet. And he kind of does a very gracious bow. And with a very big smile, his eyes are just smiling. He swishes off back downstairs, presumably.
Does that mean the 2 pretty boys aren't what we thought they were?
I think one of the pretty boys is. I think you have something in your mouth. Are you brushing?
Sure.
You're like eating. You're like eating a chicken wing that you found like in your coat.
He's got some like hard as rock
Back
stale
again.
bread that was in his pocket.
I love it. Yeah, no, pretty boy. One of the pretty boys is married, apparently. Guess it's a bit of a secret.
Yeah.
Well, we should go meet them, I suppose. We get ready. Just
All right. You eventually head back downstairs, and Rainier and a not so put together Volo are sitting together in the booth here. Give me 1 second, actually.
gentlemen.
Yes.
No, I'm talking to, Volo and
What were you saying?
just kind of look over at you like, nothing really.
Good.
Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'll eat again.
You see them seated across from the opening. Are you they kind of nod at you all and beckon you to take a seat.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Yeah. I'll follow.
Okay. Volo looks somewhat devastated, and he's kind of like looking back between Rainier and back at you all and says, "I just couldn't believe what I heard from Rainier. Tell me what happened. I'd love a story. Tell me your story."
Our story?
Yes. What happened?
Wait,
Floon,
Rainier
what
told you,
happened
but
to
you don't
Floon?
believe him?
No, I just...
Oh.
I want to know the details.
I mean, not a lot of details.
Schmidt and Altar, I mean, you know that this guy is a bit of a writer.
Oh, that guy.
He's a chronicler.
Yeah. Is he gonna be? Are you gonna be honest about us though? Because I don't want to be admitting to crimes. Not saying that we committed any crimes.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Nah, he's safe. Okay. So this is what happened. The whole warehouse incident, like all that stuff.
He's just nodding along.
Yeah.
Oh, marvelous. Oh my. Oh. The brain? And the drool?
Yeah.
He's alright?
Yeah.
He's kind of like almost pointing at Dante.
I mean,
Full recovery.
Full recovery. We
Just
found
as
out
smart as
that
he was before.
We found out that beer is actually the best medicine. I don't know how to explain it at all, but it seemed to work wonders.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I have new robes now.
Oh shit, nice. You look dashing and somewhat sinister.
Right? And a little lucky.
Oh, I can sense that about you. It's this big floppy feathered hat is just kind of like
Alatar.
I chuckle to myself privately, very privately.
Well, he sort of takes a big drink of the beer he's got in front of him. So, what was it we agreed to?
Oh, like 500 gold each?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty damn good memory.
He's kind of scratching his neck nervously, and you sense Rainier's body language gets a little stiff, and he's kind of like crossing his arms and looking towards Volo with a little bit of friendly disdain.
Sure. I mean,
What does he say when I say 500 each?
he kind of like coughs and chokes a little bit. And he says, well, the thing of it is, and I beg of you to not think less of me for this, but
I don't like this part.
I had a very unfortunate meeting with my publishers the other day, and apparently none of my books sold. And they have reclaimed all of my initial payment.
I feel so sorry for you. However, you did make a deal.
I did make a deal, and Rainier is kind of like just glaring at him right now. He did make a deal, and I, as someone who feels equally indebted to you all, have a proposition. Apparently Floon, and you can see him like, he's pissed about this. Like, apparently Floon and Volo went into business together and bought some old mansion in the northwest part of the city. The deed has yet to be notarized, and in my mind, whether you keep it or not, is more than proper compensation given what you've been through. And he kind of like elbows Volo a bit. Yes, well, a book about specters and ghouls seems out of the question with the publisher situation right now, so fine. And he kind of like brings forth this like ornate scroll case and places it on the table and says, "This is worth far more than what we agreed to, and Rainier is correct. We owe you a great deal for rescuing our dear Floon. So it is yours in lieu of the gold pieces I promised you." And he kind of pushes the scroll case forward.
And this is a deed.
He nods.
I open the case. I look it over.
What's the address?
Yeah, does it have an address? That was my first thought.
Yeah.
Um,
He says it's up in the North Ward?
It is indeed. Imagine if you will, if the wax is not here, the signature is not signed, but you see this as you unfurl the parchment.
Troll skull.
It says a deed of ownership. Let it be recognized that the bearer of this indentment is the rightful owner of Troll Skull Manor, located in the city of Waterdeep and thusly entitled to its use as a residence or business within the code legal. The owner is responsible for taxes and guild fees required for property upkeep. The legal transfer of this document must be witnessed by a magister of local legal authority, recognized by the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and it has been initially notarized by one Kylene Silmerhelve, a magister of Waterdeep. It's obvious to you, Altar, that this is indeed a half-baked deed of ownership, and need to be presented to either that magister or another proper notary by its new owners, if you agree to the terms on the deed. Or sold to a new buyer.
Wait, isn't this the place that burned down a few years ago?
I heard about that. Is that this place?
It is not fully burnt down, and the bones are good. And property, you can't buy new property. So, I mean, even if you didn't want the building.
Schmidt, he actually makes a decent argument.
Waterdeep is like the Vancouver or Los Angeles of real estate in that, like, or the Bay
Yeah.
Area, where it's like, fuck off if you think you're gonna find property, let alone something to rent.
Yeah. How about this then? 10 more gold each, because this place is a fixer-upper.
Rainier kind of chuckles. It says, "That's fair. I'll cover the gold. And in the interest of your futures, should you decide to keep this place, I am quite fond of having less fancy accommodations that can be kept secret. This is Rainier speaking. That can be kept on the hush hush. And you all have proven yourselves to be quite interesting companions. I don't know how you would feel about it, but given the fixer-upper nature of things, and he kind of gives Volo another dirty look, says, I would be interested in possibly becoming your patron.
That
And
actually
he
sounds.
sort of smiles like cheek to cheek.
That sounds quite interesting. Actually, we would. And I kind of look around at Dante and I look at Schmidt. I personally find that kind of an interesting proposition.
It could work.
It could
You
work.
guys talk too much. And I put my hammer down and I sit down. I slump down here. Sure. And I order a whole nother chicken. And more beer.
It comes as quicker than you've ever had it served to you before, and it's delicious. It's making me hungry. And like small talk continues. Feel free to ask any questions you like.
Yeah.
Rainier basically leaves you with take at least a day to think on it. Why don't we think about what you want to do with the deed? Think about my offer. There would be a few strings attached, but nothing devious, mind you.
Hmm.
And let's talk more tomorrow. And if you want to ask questions before he says this and takes off, you can. But.
I would. This is a question more for you, but Troll Skull Manor. I'm from the northern part of Waterdeep. Would I know exactly where this is?
Yeah. Actually, give me a second.
Gotta find that map.
Yeah, I was gonna link it to you in a second. It is right here. Actually, is that? Hold on. One moment. Sorry. Here is the map. I'm just confirming if the location on this map is actually accurate. Oh, you already got it. Cool.
Details of
It's
it.
not like that's the place you went to every Tuesday or something.
Right.
Yeah. I'll confirm exactly where it is later, but it is in northern Waterdeep. I do remember that much.
In the North Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yup.
Oh, I think that's right
Well.
actually. Yeah, it is on this map. That looks right.
On Ceradown Street.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when Rainier wants to be our patron, does that mean he just wants to keep the place, or like be the keeper of the place?
He's here. You can ask him.
Like what responsibilities does he want with it? He just wants a hideout, right?
What does could you define patron a little bit? Obviously, we have a very distinct impression in our head of what that means, but details are good.
Well, for one, I would be willing to help you cover the recurring costs from the various guilds, the tax collectors, etc.
Oh.
And help you fix the place up a bit. In return, I'd want to have my own room there and use of the facility. I do believe it used to be a tavern/inn at one point, but it's had many owners over the years. He kind of smiles. So beyond that, you've proven yourself quite useful. And this time he flashes his Harper pin to you all on the inside of his shirt. And I'd say at least Schmidt and Altar recognize it for what it is. Dante, do you care to decide if you're familiar?
Yeah.
Can make a just do a. Let's see what skills you got here. I'd say a history check would be about right.
Oh, okay. I'm not very learned, but I'm gonna think about ponder on this.
You have your life experience history.
Oh, you do recognize it.
I used to listen to all the people talking in the stands all the
Yeah, and
So many words.
you don't know a ton about them. What you do know is that you've seen someone with this symbol before. Once when you were in the fighting pits, you had a terrible, terrible bout. One where they basically made you lose the fight, even though you could have fucking taken the guy. You know you could have taken him. And you got beaten damn near to death in this fight. And sometime after the fight, there was this very lithe elven figure watching from the stands, and you notice him dispatch one of the guards, one of Xanathar's guards that was watching you. And he kind of like lifted your chin up, and you were a bit younger during this, but it left an impression with you. And you were kind of like in that like post-fighter daze, like the stars are spinning down, like your most recent state. But you fixated on this like glittering silver pendant, like pushed through the lapel of this guy's shirt, this elf shirt. And it's the same symbol you see now. And this character made you feel good. You could tell they were like using magic on you. And it kind of like looked in you, almost as if it saw you for who you truly were. And said, something along the lines of like, I can't free you from these monsters, but stay strong. Carry on and live. It's inside you. And like you just remember like a sort of healing energy course through your body. And when you looked again, like almost like if it like flashed white, this figure was gone. And the only thing you remember is the symbol. So you see this again, and you immediately have this warm feeling of people who wear that are well intentioned in this sort of subtle if there was like sort of like vigilante superheroes, you'd almost like think these people kind of fit that description in Dante's mind.
Yeah.
And so he looks at you all and he says, you all proved quite formidable, and he's showing you the Harper symbol. He says, I have need of such talented folk, and I might call on you at times for a favor. I would not force the work on you, but I would ask you that you give it due consideration, and you would certainly be compensated for that sort of work as well. I'd be also happy to refer you and speak highly of you with some of my other friends and associates in this very large and complex city. I aim to be a friend because I see something in you all, and you've done me a great favor, as I've told you already. And at this, he kind of pushes the 10 gold each across the table in front of you all, and takes a sip of that red wine you've been enjoying, Altar, from his own glass.
I'm gonna go ahead and add that.
Yeah.
And that 10 gold.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So if there are no other questions, I'll excuse myself and we can regroup tomorrow. It'd be worth maybe taking a field trip together to see the manor. We can then decide if you want to take it, you want to take my offer, or if you'd prefer to do something else. And if it's the former, I can take you by a magistrate I know quite well, and we can get that thing notarized.
Okay.
So, he's kind of giving you a look like any other questions.
No other question.
Well, just real quick, would you be able to help us fix this deed up? Because it's kind of half-baked.
Well, that's what he's saying. Tomorrow we can do that.
Yeah.
He nods at the dark-haired human wizard. Do you call yourself a wizard? What are you?
Wizard's a loose title. Just kind of just a just a guy. I like reading. I like books.
Well, then anything else? And he's sort of like half standing from his chair at this point, like Volo's kind of gathering his hat around.
I would stand as he stands, as is the custom in Waterdeep, and do the slight bow that recognizes nobility for what it is.
He gives you a pretty
Even
gracious
though-
bow. And says, "You don't need to do that for me, but thank you. You are well educated."
I just look at him and I said, I think you've earned it, despite family. Family's complicated, but you've earned it. And then I don't even look at Volo. I don't.
Volo is like he's walking past you, but his eyes are totally averted, like as he walks out of the room.
I don't look at him. I don't even recognize he's in the fucking room.
Okay. The two of them walk out, very, very different postures, and they're just the complete opposites as they exit the meeting room. And Volo kind of saunters off and looks like he's leaning towards the actual exit of the portal. Rainier looks like he's heading back towards where his rooms were. And they head off, and you all are left in the meeting room. It's about midday.
Wow.
So I guess we own some property.
Yeah. Got a few more gold though. That's good. That's good.
Oh, hey, we should divide up the other gold since here, add 11 more
Oh.
to your inventory. Dante,
Yes.
I think you were the hero of the last adventure for sure.
Was I?
You take 12. Take 12 gold.
Wow. That's generous.
Is this in addition to the 10 that we just added, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah. In addition to.
Yeah, Alatar kind of has his gold that he brings forth.
Okay.
And then you take you keep the remaining bit, yeah? I'm gonna take that out of the party inventory. No.
Yeah. I already added it to mine. Everybody should add it.
Same.
Yeah.
Cool. You're left here. You've got a day. Let's just say for the sake of clarity, that Rainier asked to meet you all in the morning over breakfast, whenever you were ready. So you can do what you will for now, or we could fast forward to that.
I would say, what about what's her face?
Obaya.
Obaya. Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to wait around for her, I'd say
Yeah.
that Durnan mentioned that she would be by for afternoon tea, which is usually around 2 p.m. in a couple hours from now. So
Okay.
she
I
usually
would
comes down around
probably
that
nestle
hour.
down and enjoy my book.
Okay.
Actually, you know what's kind of close to this place? Zoblobs.
I mean, you're not wrong. Do you?
I mean, I got these swanky new socks.
I mean, do you just like the color purple?
Oh, I love that purple. It's so nice.
I mean, but it's
Decadent.
no, it's gaudy, is what it is.
You just don't understand the fine colors in life.
I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good understanding of colors. Dante, what do you think about the color purple?
Which one is that one?
It's this one, and I hold up my foot that I got the sock on because I'm wearing them now.
Like in your face, like you just hold it
Yeah.
up.
I like it.
Yeah, right.
It's very bold.
It's close.
Mm.
Well, I don't. Well, I'm just saying. You know, since we have some extra coin now, we can go. You know, do a little,
sure.
little spendy at Zoblobs.
I don't think that's super close, but sure. Why not? We got a couple hours.
Alright.
Yeah.
I will.
Yawning. Oh yeah, you're right. That is really far.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's more of like
Oh, it's not. It's just on the other side of the dock court.
it's like more of a half a day journey. I think we would miss Obaya.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Well, yeah, you're right. All right. I wonder if Serpentiers is close.
Are there any
Serpentiers is
good, like-
closer. Yeah. Let's go to Serpentiers.
I don't know what that is.
Magic
What's
shop.
Serpentiers? Oh, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you running off there for a quick little.
Yeah, Dante, you want to come?
Dante.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You probably how close is it on the map? I don't have it up right now.
It's just underneath the Honorable Knight. It's let's
What
see.
would you guess in terms of travel time?
Oh,
Throw a number. 10
an
minutes.
hour.
Hour. Okay. All right.
30 minutes to walk.
All right.
Actually,
Let's say 30 minutes. It gives
like
you
I'm thinking there and back would be an hour.
gives you 30 minutes to get there. About 30-40 minutes to browse and barter.
Yeah.
You get there. You see. One sec. See this very slickly dressed woman like wearing all black, almost like she's wearing like some sort of like single piece fabric that's got like a deep V, but the way it's tied off, it's not very revealing. It's very simple looking. And she looks at you all and she says, "Welcome. I am Bozan Sask. What can I find for you in my shop?" She kind of like gestures to and fro, and it's like the opposite of the Zoblop shop. It's like meticulously organized in here. I have many things, potions, items. Please say what you look for, and I can let you know if I have it. And she sort of holds tightly a ledger in front of her that you quickly guess is like some sort of like indexed inventory.
Books.
I'm looking for smut.
Oh, I'm just looking for books.
You'll find books here. I mean, look around.
We have books of
Books
magic, but the other, not so much. This is not that sort of shop. No.
Well,
not even
books of magic are interesting.
magic smut.
No.
What kind of books of magic do you have? These are two conversations that happening simultaneously.
She's kind of like looking
Love
back
it.
with you. Like, she's very matter of fact. If you're looking for certain spells, and she's kind of like eyeing you both up and down, especially Schmidt with the robes and the purple socks. Please, speak the name of the magic if you know it. I index things in a number of ways. Let me cross-reference and I can let you know if we have something of that sort.
Sure. Let me consult some things real quick.
I would like to know if you have a scroll of what was it? What was it called?
Hang
on, I'll be right back.
Do you have any books on abjuration, or transmutation?
Both?
School of illusion is always interesting.
What are these words? So many words.
You're kind of like mumbling this, Dante, and you notice there's like all sorts of like glitter and glamorous things that kind of catch your eye, or don't. I don't know.
Glittery, glamorous. What do you mean by that?
You just see,
Are there weapons?
You see shiny things.
What does it mean? Like, what
Like-
are those?
Like weapons?
Like there are various weapons. There's
Oh my
pieces
God.
of
I'm already
clothing
there.
and rings and bracelets and amulets and all matter
Dude,
of things.
The W never left your lips, and I was already there. I was there.
So the question for me would be, is there anything that would attract Dante more than most, or would you rather I just roll randomly on something?
I'm having fun with this roll randomly. I don't have anything in mind.
Okay, hold on.
I just imagine a magic like glimmering weapon, sword, or like even a two-handed something or other that's mounted on the wall back behind her that's just like on display. Beautiful. Maybe there's like a suit of armor and like a glass case, like some elven script on it. Super fancy, looks really nice.
Could be a number of things. For now, let's say like there are three things that like you kind of like quickly look between. You see a small vial of like it almost looks like it's filled with liquid, but then as you approach it almost like poofs and disappears like a cloud of dust. And then you watch it and then it disappears again, and then it sort of like pulses and repeats this like back and forth. and it's just like you're fixated on it, like it's just this mesmerizing deer in headlights moment for you. You'd also kind of go towards this other like for some reason you're just fixated on all these like shiny sparkly vials, the brightest thing, and one of them is some kind of potion, you guess. But it's weird. The liquid inside of it is like bending and reforming and separated into different colors. It's like brown, and there's a layer of silver, and then a layer of gray, and they kind of represent like a river stone with like the banding over the smoothness of the shape. And you pick the thing up and you shake it almost like it almost everything moves and swirls around, but the colors don't mix. They stay like separate in this sort of weird twisting way. And then eventually, like you finally snap out of it and grab another potion, apparently. And this one, like you kind of look at it, and it seems like it's holding fog, and it's not disappearing like the first thing you grabbed with the dust, but you kind of turn it over in your hand, and the fog almost moves like water, but in this smoky, viscous form, and it just kind of goes back and forth, and you just watch it for what feels like eternity. Are any of those three the ones that you gravitate towards more than the other after kind of going back and forth in these stupefied states as you examine them?
I can't even.
Okay, we can say
Still
that you keep going back between the three things.
I'm like feeling them with my hands.
Going back to Alatar, what are you looking at? What are you asking about?
Actually, the more that I think about this, I actually just need a lot of ink that you use for spell books. That's probably the most important thing. I am interested in other spells, however, that's probably the top priority for me. The more that I actually think about this.
Ink of that caliber is not the cheapest.
I need about 50 gold pieces worth of ink.
Wow. Okay.
Ink, and I already have the paper. I assume that she's familiar with the process. He's not.
She's kind of looking like she wasn't sure. She got a very different impression from the gaudy robes of Schmidt. You, on the other hand, she's kind of like eyeing up and down, like, okay. I can provide the appropriate ink for what you seek. I have plenty in stock. You know by your gold estimate that this is a valuable, precious ink required for what it is I think you're needing it for. And she kind of like, as she's speaking, you realize that she's just delicately putting one ink bottle after the other, each of them only 1 ounce in size, and she eventually puts 5 of them up in front of you.
As she's doing that, I only look her in the eye, and as she does each bottle, I slide 10 gold pieces over for each one. As she's like putting it on the table, it's like a mirror of like, mutual understanding.
Okay. And just add those for you. Done and done. Is there anything else for you? And then, or you? And she looks back to Schmidt again.
I just see Dante messing with those bottles over there. Is that an ever smoking bottle?
Well, which
The little
one?
smoky one? The smoky one on the right.
Do you like this one? This one?
That one? Yeah.
That is a. Is he going to drop that? Like, so you notice the one.
No.
The one he's holding right now, that has like the gas moving like water inside of it.
Yeah.
She's looking at that and looking at Dante holding it, and she's slightly like her mouth is just open, like. It's the most emotion she's shown since you've been in here. She says, "That is a very expensive potion of gaseous form."
Well, what am I do with it?
That is worth almost 5,000 gold pieces. Please put that down. And she's sort of like speaking past Schmidt. Unless you intend to buy it.
That's a bit.
Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah. Do you have an ever smoking bottle?
Interesting. Let me look in my ledger. and she kind of looks for a moment. And if you would, Schmidt, just
Ooh,
need you to
ooh.
beat a 10%, just a measly 10% chance. Would be the only fail factor here. So you need to get 11
Remember.
or higher. 11 or higher on a D100.
You're lucky. Don't forget that.
I am. Here come my lucky socks. Oh, thank God.
And like she kind of like stops and flips back a few pages. Says, yes, actually we do. And she sort of like curls her fingers and walks past behind the counter and leads you down to the end of like the second aisle. And she pulls this bottle out in front of you, uncorks it, and demonstrates for a moment before capping it again.
Yeah.
It says, it's quite valuable.
Well, I mean, it's not that valuable.
And you seem quite interested. And she's like watching your eager
I'm not. I
face.
mean, I'm not that interested. But I mean, how much is it? How much?
Let me check the ledger again. She sort of
Shit.
smirks briefly, and she takes the bottle with her out of your hand, and walks back behind the counter. Okay. Well, I'd be willing to sell it to you. I like you. I like those robes you're wearing.
Right? They're lucky.
260 gold.
What if? Would you consider a trade for a magic item?
What are you
You're
trading?
not gonna trade me.
Nah, you're priceless, Dante. I'm talking about these luxurious socks. And I
Priceless?
I pull off my shoes, and then I pull off my socks.
She looks
And
disturbed.
pull off my other sock. These are lucky, magical, warming socks.
They're not
But I'll
just
trade you
warm because
these.
they were wrapped around your ankles?
No. They are always warm.
I look at her and I say it's actually true. They are self-warming socks. I identified it myself.
I give you 25 gold plus these socks.
She kind of snorts. Huh.
Wait. Let me do this. I don't know if that means anything.
She sort of like does that like mouth movement where you can tell she's like thinking sourly, and you almost feel like you've got her in this moment. And you see her kind of like fidgeting, and like again, she's been like so
Okay.
collected and
I'll
reserved.
throw in these robes, which are also.
Her brow raises significantly, almost breaking character at this point. And she says,
Yo,
and how much gold?
I look at Schmidt. I'm like, you're giving away your lucky robes. Okay.
Yeah.
She says, and how much gold?
Oh, 25. It's because it's all I have left.
She's kind of fidgeting, and like you both, anyone near the desk kind of hears her mumble, I really need good reading socks. And she says, fine, you've got a deal.
Yes! I shake her hand. I grab it and shake it, even though she doesn't comply. And then, yeah, I take off the robes and everything. Give her my socks.
All right, yeah, she's looking at the robes and the socks a bit fondly. And the brass bottle she hands over to you is as wondrous as you imagine it.
Wow.
Put it in your inventory. Good. I'll just delete the wizard robes and the purple socks.
I lean over to Alatar. I think it's gonna be worth it.
I probably, yeah.
She's sort of like lovingly looking at both the robes and the socks. Is there anything else you all need? What about your friend back there? And she's looking to Dante with concern.
I'm still looking at the potions.
Are you
He's
tasting them?
he's easily fascinated.
I have my pinky in one because the viscosity was fascinating.
Yes.
She's gonna have a conniption.
No.
What are you doing?
Get your digits out.
Alright, well, anything else you guys are doing here?
Nope. I would be thank you for your time and for the inks, and we'll be
Come
on our
back
way.
again. You can see her kind of getting ready to put like a closed sign on the door so she can try out her new items.
Self-warming socks.
Lunch break.
Wow. Nice. So on the way out, I want to lean in. I say, I got those socks for 10 gold. Got this that wizard robe for what? Free? Check this out. And I snap, and the robe is back. My socks are back, and my eyes are glowing.
Oh.
I can look like that anytime I want. I don't actually need those things. Cast disguise self.
Oh my god.
Nice. Real nice.
It'll last like that for an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
That's the perfect note to end on, I think.
Yeah. If you want like a fast forward cliffhangery thing, well, do you all want to think about it before over the next session, or do you have an answer for Rainier as it is?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that deal sounded awesome.
Yeah, the deal sounded really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the interest of wrapping up
have a
this
hideout.
chapter of these things, Obaya is very happy to see you all again. She sips her tea. She's there if you have any questions. She says, I regret I didn't give these to you sooner, knowing that you were taking a job for Volo. And she's kind of smirking a bit. And she brings forth one healing potion each and says, I am a procurer of many things, as I mentioned to you before, and if you do accept the offer I've heard Rhaenyr's given to you all, that might be the perfect way for you to work your little ways up into the type of work I'd want you for. And she kind of looks down at the yawning portal entrance again, and then looks back at you all and kind of smiles while pushing the potions forward and says, use them wisely, and if you need anything else procured, I have many connections in this city and many people working for me.
What kind of work is it that you're interested in us doing in this utopian future?
Well, many have gone down through the yawning portal, and she sort of crosses her fingers in front of her. And I've been working with Dernan for some time now, and he's agreed that if I should sponsor a group of my choosing, he would allow them to descend down into the portal, into the... She kind of like gestures with her hands, almost like wings. It almost feels like the equivalent of like doing like quotation marks, you know? She says, into the dungeon of the Mad Mage, they say. Whether or not there's a Mad Mage down there, Dernan has assured me, being there himself at some point, that it is filled with seemingly endless levels and magical items and artifacts of untold power and fortune. But he would never allow little pups like yourself to go down there in your current state. That being said, I've enjoyed our relationship thus far, and perhaps Raynor can bridge the gap from where you are now and where I need you to be. She takes a sip of her tea before blowing on it and cooling it a bit more.
Well, something to work towards, I suppose. The future is vast and unknowable. I guess we shall see, won't we?
Spoken wisely. She sips on the cooled tea. Huh. If there's any other questions you have for her, you can ask them. Otherwise, we can do a quick time jump to Rainier catching up with you all the next morning.
Yeah, I think we're good with,
Okay.
or I'm good,
Yeah.
at least.
I hope our relationship becomes very fruitful in the future.
She seems very, very pleased and amicable in her meeting with you.
Mm.
So, before doing anything, Rainer thanks you graciously for accepting his offer and says, "Why don't we have a look at the place? And I'll take you to one of the magisters after, and we can have the paperwork signed." And he takes you over, and while he's taking you over, he talks about his terms, and he says, "They're nothing complex. Like I said, I would just want a room of my own once we've fixed the place up, and again, I might call on you time to time with work, or put you in contact with a friend, someone else who might need your services. If you choose, you can make this place your home, maybe toy with the idea of making it a business. In the meantime, we just need the paperwork signed, and you all will have a lot of work to do. And eventually, you come upon this building. Give me 1 second here.
We'll also need a lot of work to do in order to do the work that we need to do.
And as you approach, your eyes immediately fall upon the largest building on the block in the alley. It sticks out among the rest, partly because its 3-story stature makes it loom over the other structures, but mostly because of the state of dilapidation. It's definitely an old, elegantly designed building from a different era than the functional buildings that now surround it. The roof is the color of a bright fetid green, and the missing shingles expose a decaying brown underneath, giving it the complexion of a pox victim. Its form hints at the proud postures of the old architecture which birthed it, but time has curved its spine and made it humble, as you see parts of like the roof are sagging. Bricks are scattered around some of the chimneys that abruptly end, leaving it pointing to the sky like a jagged tooth. And the few windows that haven't been boarded up are shattered in their frames and marked with what can only be called the Waterdeep equivalent of graffiti. 2 balconies run the perimeter of the manor, and on the second and third level they stand, but they kind of hang almost like a necrotic limb with railings missing spokes, and like the flooring kind of sagged and sunken in places, making the structural integrity a little questionable. The lower deck itself is barely intact, if the hanging floorboards are kind of any indication here. At the base level, the foundation appears to be made of stronger masonry, but even there, the once presentable veneer is beginning to clearly decay. Plaster's chipped away at parts, exposing the decorative brick behind it. And there is, again, let's see, there's a small concrete wall that does run around the perimeter of the manor. Really only ceremonious as indicated by its height. Probably a stylistic choice. It's only a few feet off the ground, and half of it is in fact missing, either from damage or the materials being pilfered.
Ooh.
Some of you might look at it and recognize the state of disrepair, that this new property is going to need some work, but hey, it's a home? Rainier kind of chuckles and says, see, it has good bones.
Not as burned down as I thought.
He kind of starts to lead you inside whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Huh.
You know what though? If this was a hideout for thievery and ne'er-do-wells, none the wiser.
Yeah. All I know is that that tower looks like a great place for a wizard.
Yeah, where are we gonna find one? Nudge, nudge.
I hate you.
So if you can see, like, this is sort of the
I
block.
don't get it.
He's a wizard.
Who?
This guy. Points Altair.
No.
Wait, I can't tell if he's joking. Are you joking? Is that
He's not really a wizard.
So imagine, if you will, the described state of affairs, and maybe your mind's eye paints an image something like this as Raynor uses big, beautiful, flowery words to describe what the rooms could potentially be as he takes you through. Again, visually, what you see, or what you'll see in a moment here, is not that thing. This is what his words describe they could be. Let's pull this up real quick.
This is his vision of what it will eventually be.
Yeah, so he kind of takes you in here. Actually, I'll just use his token as sort of quick.
Yeah, third floor has got that little nook there in the tower.
Quick little
yeah, I'm already calling that shit.
Garrett's is above. Yeah, you could take the third floor and the Garrett's.
The whole third floor?
No, just that room, right?
Yeah, I'm
What are we
fucking
doing in the
take that.
Garrets?
Gonna make a wizard tower, a library. And I would like to remind you guys that we have 4 beautiful paintings worth a metric fuckload of money.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That could be used to hang up inside this place once it's fixed up, or could be pawned off to repair it, and we could just save the nicest one or something.
All right.
Yeah.
So, it takes some time, especially as he pushes like the cobwebs of the broken furniture around, but like in the sort of like home TV lighting around view, the flowery words describe like, look, this could be a tap room. You see like the big massive chimney to the north where like the hearth is. You see like he's kind of like gesturing towards a bar to the east here. He's sort of taking you all around on the ground floor, takes you back behind the bar, shows you there's like this hatch to the basement, takes you down. He's like, we could have, an ale cellar down here, wine over there, and he's sort of like pointing at the different spots down in the basement here.
There's a basement.
And there's like some foul, rancid smelling, broken bits of barrel down here before he goes back. We'll fix that. We'll take care of that. He goes through here and says, look, we can fix the wall where it's sort of caved in here and almost blocking the passageway, and he has to push some stone around. He gets Dante to help.
Hey, can we, real quick question. With this basement down there, is there any way we can install like a secret tunnel to get out?
I do have a few dwarvish friends we could consult with.
Oh, dwarves are really good at digging.
The thing
I know that's generalizing.
And he's like, even though you're in the basement, he's kind of like whispering. He's like, the thing is, the guilds are fucking murder here. Any kind of work needs to go through them. You got to get permits, blah, blah, blah. Any official renovations we do, we'll have to go through them. But anything we want to do that's a bit more clandestine, we'll need more than the average price and people who are willing to work outside the purview of the guilds. And that can be risky. Dwarves. Oh. Yes, and he's kind of like nodding.
Yeah, dwarves. Yes. Yeah.
I might have some. Let's go back, and he kind of goes back up, and he's like showing you what could be the kitchen over here. There's like a big open fire where like you kind of imagine that once something worked out there. He has to take you outside. You realize that there are stairs on the outside to go up to the upper levels, which almost nicely kind of segregates the two areas. And it has a private access, so he takes you back over there and goes up the stairs, taking you to a door on the second floor. So maybe this is just a common room, a meeting room, I don't know. Maybe you want to have rooms if you want to do the whole inn thing. Maybe you have other ideas, I don't know. It could be all private. We can talk about that. I just want my room. And he sort of takes you through. This is a hall, stairs upstairs. Maybe this is a spare room down here, another bedroom perhaps, little hall over here. This could be.
Where would your room be?
We could talk about it. You all would be here more than me should you make this your home, so I can see what you all have your eye set on first. Yeah, I'm not. I have plenty of other abodes as well, and he kind of takes you through this. He's like, maybe this is a den or a library. I don't know. He goes back through the door.
That's it. He fucking sold me. That's it. Like, any doubts were just dispelled by the word library. Like, you mean I could own enough books to have a library?
takes you up to a third floor, and it kind of opens up, and you see there's more stairs to the north that go up even higher. He says, "This is a decent view, more than nothing blocking it in this part of Waterdeep. No large towers. We're the biggest building here." And he takes you through, and he says, "Looks like there was a private bath in here, in a master suite." And he kind of like raises his brow. Very nice. And as he passes out, you see this small room to the east. It's just like clearly some kind of privy or washroom. And he goes to another room, and in this room you actually see a desk and small rotted bookshelves. Says, "Oh, maybe this was a library or a study, something in a private office."
More than one library. That's ridiculous.
There's a second
Not
privy
ridiculous.
just adjacent to that door to the north there. And he goes around to the back here. It's just like a more interesting, looks like it was a bedroom of some sorts with like the L shape kind of wrapping around. And then a private little room that goes to a circular tower-like chamber with a ladder that goes up.
I love it.
Wonder what's up there.
This is for you.
Well, I'm taking this one.
He goes up and you see like this hatch opens up into the turret peak, and there's definitely a little creaky and nervous. Says, maybe don't go up, or at least one at a time. It needs some work, and he kind of pops back down.
This could be an oculary.
That goes all the way up to, you kind of see on the map over there, on this upper level. Eventually, you come back down. He takes you up the stairs, which are also a little dilapidated, but you can step over the damaged bits, and eventually you get up to the two rooms that have this sort of narrow hallway, one to the north and one to the south. And up here you see what looks like it's some sort of like attic bedroom, and the room to the south looks like it's just filled with shit, like used as some kind of storage at some point or another. And like he's, well, it's no it's no fair prize, but it's something, and I think we could make something out of it. And he kind of like gives you all like a big smirk. I imagine you sort of made do with some seating back down on the ground floor in what was once the tap room.
You know, we should really get this appraised. We should also, now that I think about it a little bit, I'm not good with business stuff, but it makes the most sense if we could at least get the ground floor open. It could fund the rest of the the other floors renovations. If we at least focus on this area, get some ale, maybe hire a bartender. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Dante says, "I choose this room to sleep in," and then he goes to sleep right then and there. And that I do have to go to bed, guys. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Please.
Perfect. It's perfect. He sort of like walks you all to the magistrate to sign the documents, and he jokingly says something. It's like, "Don't worry about the rumors about this place being haunted." And
oh, we're so fucked.
I hope you guys sign it on my back.
You make your way, and we can talk about level 2 and any other fun little things between now and next time on.
Sorry.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
All good. Let me know about Rick and Morty one shot over the break of anyone.
Okay, yeah.
Manage.
Yep.
Later.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Have we nailed down a date for that, or